Hi my friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. It has been possibly 6 months since I have picked a TBR for the month. I think I picked one in February, did not follow it, didn't do March, didn't do April, didn't do May, but we're here with June. We are back. I will be picking around 6 books I think for our TBR jar from the prompts that are in this jar. Over the past few months, I wouldn't say I've been in a reading slump, but I will say I haven't been super excited or had a 5-star or be driven to reading until maybe recently, and so I am so excited to have a TBR and something to work towards and to really motivate myself to start tackling this physical TBR, because if you could see what's behind me here, there is 2 more stacks of books that are technically on my physical TBR, but this is the priority physical TBR, so we're just going with this cart today. But if there is something that I can see there that really suits a prompt, I'll go for it. But this is the main TBR that we are working with. It's overflowing. There's books sideways, there's books here. It needs to dwindle down. There are definitely some books on here that are high priority TBR, I would say. There is also some on my radar that I don't own, and I know that's not the point of the TBR, but there are some books I definitely will be reading this month, so we'll see how we go. Prompt number 1 is a book with a 1-word title. Alrighty. Do we count the as a word? Yeah, I said it out loud. It's a word. Because otherwise I could do The Goal or The Legacy by Elle Kennedy, because I really want to continue that series of Off Campus this month and finish that. Do I have any 1-word titles? Buckeye is a 1-word title. Belladonna and that series are all 1 word. Is that the only options? I will say it's not technically on my physical TBR, but my bookstore's book club pick for the month is Famesick, and I'm gonna be reading it. And so I think it could be really smart to put that on the TBR because I need to read it this month. I don't own it, but I'll get it soon from work. That feels like cheating because the idea of the TBR jar is to pick books on the physical TBR, but the only one I can think of is Buckeye, because to be honest, I don't really want to start a new fantasy series while I'm in the middle of this series at the moment. So I think I have to pick Buckeye. Alrighty, getting this out is going to be a trek. I don't know where to put these books so that this is not difficult the entire time. They can just go on the floor for now. We can remember that they're there. Okay, I think we're gonna go with Buckeye. I bought this in January, I think. And to my understanding, it is a historical fiction. I don't know much about it other than I saw a TikTok of someone reading it and they were bawling their eyes out. And I said, I'll buy that. But it is historical fiction, which is not something I read a lot of, but I do love a lit fic book. So I wanna try diversify and read some more different genres, branch out into historical fiction a bit more. So I am excited. It is set in 1945, so World War II in Europe. There's a post-war boom. By the sounds of it, I think there's like a radio show or something. I don't really know much about it, but I kind of like going into lit fic stories knowing a brief synopsis, but nothing crazy. I love going in blind. I will say that high priority on this TBR is definitely going to be Elle Kennedy, the rest of the off-campus series, because I really want to read it while the hype's going on, and because I've read the first 3 books, so now I really want to read these 2. A book from a new genre. I don't know if I have, as per se, a new genre on here. There's definitely some genres that I read less of. Let me just move this off. I think, to be honest, a new genre to me is non-fiction, because pretty much anything in fiction I have read. Not that I haven't read any non-fiction, but I just don't read a lot of non-fiction, because like this is all romance, that's not new. This is non-fiction. This might have to be the only option because I don't really know. Everything else is something I've read. Now that I'm looking through it, maybe I think I'm gonna have to go with this one because it's not a new genre, but it is the closest thing to a genre that I don't read. So I think we're gonna have to go with this. This is Things My Son Needs to Know About the World by Frederick Bachman. Frederick Bachman is arguably one of my favorite authors. Like him and Emily Henry, neck and neck. They're very different, so that's why they're both my favorites, but my favorite fiction author separate to romance is Frederick Bachman. I have been slowly working my way through his backlist because the second I read all his books, then I have to wait for new books to come out, so it's kind of sad. And this is his non-fiction. This is his only non-fiction book, I think. I've read some others of his that are novellas that are more philosophical, less novel, but this is the only one that's non-fiction, I think. It is a tender and funny series of letters from a father to his son about one of life's most daunting experiences, parenthood. It's just a non-fiction letters situation, quite short, which is nice for the TBR. I have been wanting to read this and pick it up. It has been on my radar a little bit lately, and I have been loving books that have letters in it and discuss things like parenthood and family. So it's Frederick Bachman, ticking many lists in that regard. I think I'm gonna have to go with this one because I don't know, everything else on there is just genres that I've already read, so it's not new. That's like the closest thing I can think of. Prompt number 3, a book featuring a trope you love. Okay, so we're going down the romance route. What romances have we got here? The trope of the goal is a surprise pregnancy, which contrary to how most people feel, I actually quite love a surprise pregnancy. I think I've read it 3 times and all 3 times I've loved it. So that's an option. These aren't really tropey kind of books. What is this one? Because I've had my eye on, what trope is this? That's not really tropey. I don't know what trope this one is either. Next door neighbor, so like forced proximity. Friends to lovers, I think it is. Not like my favorite thing ever. I have quite a few romances on here where I just genuinely don't really know what they're about. They have been there for a very long time, so I don't really know what the tropes are. What is this? It says heart-wrenching. I think I'm gonna go with the goal. I know that not a lot of people love a surprise pregnancy, but I personally love children, am excited to have children. I think it adds this like layered dynamic. It could obviously be done really badly, but the 3 books I've read that have it in it, which are probably the 3 most popular of surprise pregnancy, which is Reckless, Out on a Limb, Ready or Not. I've loved all of them, and I've loved the pregnancy aspect of all of them. It would not steer me away from a book. I would honestly pick it up if it had that on it. And to my understanding, that is the main trope of Tucker's book in the off-campus series. So this is book 4. In May, I read the first 3 books in the off-campus series with the show coming out, and now I need to read this and then The Legacy. I really do love a surprise pregnancy. I think I'm gonna go with a goal. I know that's not a popular trope, but I kind of love it. So that was what the prompt said, so that's what we're gonna do. Alrighty, prompt number 4, a highly anticipated read. This is just like the best prompt ever. Like you can essentially just pick something you're excited about. Wait, I have a book that's not on here. I am so excited to read Into the Blue by Emma Brody. It was actually planning to be my next read I was gonna start today, and it was in my tote bag because I went to the cafe, but I didn't start it this morning. I have heard so many good things about this book. I don't even really know anything about it other than the fact that it's dramatic and emotional of a romance, and it's so highly anticipated for me because I need something to bring me back to life. I have not had a 5-star, emotionally connected, emotionally involved, hectic, dramatic romance in such a long time, probably since I read The Favorites, and I need something to give me that feeling. And my friend Taylor loved it, like so many people have loved it. It is so highly anticipated for me. I don't think I could actually pick anything else, and it just wouldn't be true. This is my most highly anticipated book that I have here right now. I don't even really think there's any other options to consider. I think it needs to be Into the Blue. To my understanding, it's kind of a second chance. They're actors and writers and creatives in some like, I've heard it's some like sci-fi world. I mean, maybe that's just because it looks like it. I don't really, not a sci-fi world, but the oh, okay. They are cast in the same intergalactic TV production. That makes sense. I'm just so excited about this book, and I've seen so many good things, and I really, really, really want to read it next. So I think that just makes sense to put it on the TBR. Every time I do this, it just feels too short, and I always want to pick more books, but then having more than 6 books on a TBR is stressful. But picking a prompt and picking a book is the most addictive, fun feeling I think I've ever had. A book under 300 pages. Oh, do I even have that many? I think a lot of the books I have at the moment are actually quite big. This one looks quite small. I feel like these ones are probably quite small. My assumption is that these are under 300 pages, that this is under 300 pages. I really don't know if any of the others will be. This like has to be. Yeah, that's even under 200 pages. Oh, that's over 300, and that's under 300. I think we've only really got these 2 options to pick between. Both, I would say I am looking forward to reading. Let me look at what I've got so far so I can kind of decide based on vibes of what is on the TBR at the moment. I don't know anything about this book, but for some reason I'm so excited to read it. I got the advanced proof earlier this year. This book has now come out. It is The Things We Never Say by Elizabeth Strout. I haven't read anything of hers before, but it seems like a short lit fic book. A lot of people have been buying it in store. So it sounds like it's based on a man who is a history teacher, and then he finds out, like, he learns a secret that someone's been keeping from him. I really don't know anything about it. I think the cover just drew me in. The co-op has been on my TBR for a really long time, but I've already got The Goal and Into the Blue, and I just think there's already 2 romances on my TBR. I think I want to go with the lit fic, and I have been really looking forward to reading this, so I think it makes sense to pop this on the TBR. Alrighty. A reread? I know the exact thing that I'm about to go get. 1 second. I love that I had to go get 2 separate books from elsewhere that aren't even on the TBR card. This is a reread that I will be doing in June regardless. And so the fact that I got a reread prompt is genuinely perfect. If you are not aware, this is the first book in the Heartstopper graphic novel series. And book 6, the final installment, comes out on July 2nd. And so I wanted to reread the entire series before book 6 comes out in July. There are 5 books in the series before the 6th installment, obviously. So the fact I can put this on my TBR is so perfect. I am so excited. Nick and Charlie hold such a special place in my heart. I don't know how many times I've actually reread this series. Maybe 3 times I think I've reread it and watched the show. I just adore them with my entire soul. When I first read this 2-3 years ago, I was not expecting to love them as much as I did. I went in with very low expectations and just fell in love with them. If you have not read the Heartstopper series, this is the perfect time because the final book is about to come out and a movie is coming out after that. I could not love them more with my entire soul, and I could talk about it forever and ever and ever. Now prepare to be sick of me because all of June, this is all I'm going to be talking about, and I don't care. I just love them so much. Oh, that's such a nice addition to the TBR. I feel like we've got a really good mix of books books and a lot of different genres. So I am really excited, and this is probably one of the best TBRs I'm looking at in a very long time. Well, I haven't had one in a very long time, but you know what I mean. Anyway, first up we have Buckeye. This is probably, if I was looking at the TBR, this is the one that I would go, maybe I won't get to that. The rest of them I'm very confident I could get to, which makes me feel like I need to read this so that I could complete the entire TBR. This is the one chain on my leg that probably would mean I wouldn't complete the TBR. The rest of them I'm very confident about, but we'll see how we go. Then we have Things My Son Needs to Know About the World. This is honestly something I feel like I could read in one sitting with how short it is, and so I really have no doubts that I will be able to read this, and I just love everything Fred McBackman produces, so no complaints there. I think the next one was The Goal, which I was going to read anyway because I need to read this off-campus series and have it all in my veins. I miss the show so much. Like, I know I can put it on my TV. I literally watched some of it this morning, but I miss the newness of it. I need new plotline. I need new story. I am excited for Tucker's book. I don't really know that much about him at this point yet in the plot line. Like, we know a little bit about him, but not a complete amount. I do have a reading vlog of my reactions to The Deal and The Mistake, which I absolutely loved. I will link that below. And I started the score in that reading vlog, but I hadn't finished it yet. I am just so excited to read these. I think that if I read them at a different time, I might hate them. And this is the perfect time because the show's coming out and all the hype. So I'm in the mood. So I think perfect time to be reading this, to be honest. I'm highly likely going to read The Legacy this month too, but we'll see how we go. Next, we had our highly anticipated read, Into the Blue by Emma Brody. I cannot wait to read this book. I am so excited. I will be including it in a vlog that I'm filming at the moment, so it's just perfect that I could put it on in the TBR. Fingers crossed, I love this one. I really am hoping that it's not disappointing because that would probably crush my spirit a little bit. Then we have The Things We Never Say by Elizabeth Strout. I've been really looking forward to this one. I know nothing about it, to be completely honest, but something about it is drawing to me, and so I think I definitely will pick this up, especially because it's short as well. I could also do that in 1 or 2 sittings. I could also do this in 1 or 2 sittings as well pretty easily. So I think having a couple shorter books on this TBR is the perfect way to come back into having a TBR, because if I could finish the first TBR I do in like 6 months, it's going to be such a motivation to keep having a TBR. And last but not least, we have none other my babies, Nick and Charlie, the first book in the Heartstopper graphic novel series. Like I said, I'll be reading this entire series this month. I think I might do a dedicated Heartstopper vlog as well. Not really sure, I'll see how we go, but I cannot wait to dive back into the Heartstopper world, and that we're gonna get new Heartstopper content this month and then the movie soon. I genuinely can't wait. We have such a good spread. The fact that we have a rom-com, an emotional romance, 2 lit fics, a non-fiction, and then a young adult graphic novel. That array and spread I am so excited about. I think that there are some short enough books in here that we could actually achieve this month. We'll see how we go. I will try and include some of these in reading vlogs. Like I said, Into the Blue is definitely going to be in a reading vlog. I will probably do a Heartstopper specific one. I'll try and fit the other ones into some vlogs as well so that you can see my reactions and all my thoughts. As always, thank you so much for watching. It feels so good to be back in the groove, making a TBR again, and we are here to stay. I will let you know by the end of the month which ones I actually end up reading. I would love to know what is on your TBR for June, or if there's a book that you are so excited about, or if you've read any of these and you know which ones I should start with, which ones I would like, not like, whatever it is, please let me know in the comments. I hope you have a wonderful June, and I will see you in the next video.